So, day 5, Winslow, Arizona. Now, I know what you want, and I know what you're expecting. A particular song that makes all the sense in the world to play right now. Due to copyright law, I'm not even going to try to hassle with playing it. So, this will have to suffice. Here we are at Standing on the Corner Park in downtown Winslow, Arizona. What a super cool contribution to the city. For many folks, this very location might be considered the very heart and soul of what Route 66 means to them. Freedom, friendship, and a love for the open road. I had set up 15 minutes early or so before the group would drive through, only they didn't quite come the way I was expecting. Oh well. Ooh, nice Shelby. We would then hit the road and make our way to the first stop of the day at the Two Guns Ghost Town, just 24 miles outside of Winslow. It was a fairly cool stop, some pretty decent opportunities for walking around and taking in the sights and snagging some pictures, or cleverly thought out video. We would end up spending a lot of time here, but not necessarily because there was much to do. One of the old Mustangs had struck a bit of bad luck when it was failing to start. Luckily, we had the best group of bullet heads to help sort things out. We needed more time to fix it than what we had during a scheduled stop, and had to continue the cruise to keep schedule. Luckily, another bullet owner had decided to trailer his bullet on the cruise, and decided to take his off and drive it, allowing the 68 to tag along until it could be fixed. Thanks, Steven. Our travels would then lead us to the Pine Breeze Inn in Flagstaff, Arizona. Look familiar? You might recognize this location if you're a fan of Easy Rider. At this stop, I took the opportunity to interview one of our drivers that made the trip all the way from Canada.
My name's Vodka. I'm from New Westminster, British Columbia. I have two 2001 bullets. One is 3549 and the other one's 2182. And with 3 of my friends that came with us, we brought both of my bullets on the Route 66 tour. So roughly going to be at least 6,000 miles plus on each car. So change the oil when I left, and change the oil when I get home. I've always had, at least since I was 19, basically I've had 2 Mustangs, and I've just rotated them out. But in 2001, when the bullet came out, it was like, wow, it's like something I really wanted. But in Canada, it was 38 grand, and it was like way out of my price range. So I waited a while. So in 2007, I found one that had 80,000 kilometers, 50,000 miles at a price that I could afford, 15 grand Canadian. So it would have been around 12 US. And so I bought the car. But the funny story about buying the car was, one of my friends is a GM guy. He's a Camaro guy. And I was saying, you need to get into a Mustang. So I told him and said, hey, I found this bullet. Let's go look at it. So he looked at it and he's humming and hawing. I told him, if you don't buy this car, I'm buying it. And he says, well, I don't think I want it. And I told the guy, take 15, done. So I ended up with a bullet in 2007. So signed up at Inbach, and then, I've been participating in tons of events since.
Before hitting the road, a dozen or so of the menfolk decided to recycle their morning coffee back into the world underneath a nearby bridge. I hope they washed their hands. Next up, our journey would take us high up into the mountains to our next stop in Williams, Arizona. My first impression, wow! If I could describe Williams, Arizona in just 2 words, I would say hidden gem. Due to the altitude, it felt 10 to 15 degrees cooler than prior locations on the trip. It was a joy to drive through and an incredibly fun place to settle in for lunch and just walk around. This place was Route 66 Tourist Central. It was a consensus of many group members that this was a place that should be revisited again in the future for a longer period of time. Just stay away from those bathrooms, and watch out for those aliens. Next, we'd find ourselves at the Hackberry General Store, one of the most rustic-looking gas stations. Loved the overall look and feel of this place. Shortly after that, we found ourselves making an unscheduled stop at Anderson Ford Lincoln, where we joined a small car show at their dealership. We then boogied our way on over to the Cool Springs station for a little break before venturing to our final destination. I was the first to spot an awesome place to take pictures from across the road. Super cool view of all the cars from up here. Apparently, I missed a little meeting that was going on down below. By the looks of this picture, it seems as if everyone is totally stoked to see a porta potty. I don't see the appeal, but whatever. We have one more stop to make. Oatman, Arizona. Absolutely stunning city. It was such a small town, I honestly thought it was an unbelievably well-preserved ghost town. Nope, it's a legitimate town. Just so happened I didn't see anyone there besides our group. The entire town was closed for the day, but it was a lot of fun to simply roam around the streets, socialize with the other drivers, and take some photos. Exiting Oatman would be what I considered the most thrilling drive of the entire cruise. A series of winding roads lead you up and down the mountainside. You didn't want to drive fast though, especially being that it was approaching sunset and every corner you turned, you were staring into a blinding sun. Definitely needed good brakes during this stretch. Truly remarkable drive nonetheless. It was dark outside by the time we reached Laughlin, Nevada. We'd be spending the night at the Aquarius Hotel and Casino. We huddled in a circle of lawn chairs and socialized for a few hours before turning in for the night.